there's a little bit of red up there on our graphic, and that is a jet dryer on the racetrack because we had a small rainstorm. So we're under a delay right now, probably about 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, till they will actually be able to get this track dry. But it is going fairly quickly, DJ.
Yeah, but, you know, these guys are kind of getting used to this. You know, Indy, they got no time on the racetrack and had to go out. Provided a great race. So they did at least get, I don't know, what, 30, 40 minutes in that first session before the rains came. And this is one of those short tracks that get a little bit of time, a little bit of rhythm, good to go.
Yeah, it's a short track. You don't need too many laps. And you know what, best of all, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's running this race, you heard of him, that retired driver that works with us sometimes?
Yeah, back to
He was 5th in first practice.
Yeah.
So, you know what? That's all that matters. If he's got the speed, the rest will figure it out.
That's exactly right, yes.
All right, as you can see today, we've got NASCAR America at 5:30 starting the evening. Then it's Monster Energy Cup Series qualifying, countdown to green, and then we've got the big Xfinity Series race, start of the playoffs from Richmond, coming up at 7:30 tonight. And then don't miss, after the race, NASCAR the Decades, the 90s, hosted by Jeff Burton. Should be a great time. We will see you when cars actually get rolling here soon. Welcome to Richmond Raceway, NASCAR Xfinity Series final practice. This is Park Klugman, joined by NASCAR Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett. And Dale, we see cars. Jet dryers are getting off the racetrack. I think we're going to see some run here.
Yeah, I didn't really think this was going to happen, but they did an outstanding job of getting this place ready. The sun's actually coming out now, and these drivers are going to get a few more laps. Scheduled to just go to 11 a.m., but we'll see if NASCAR might extend that at all.
We've been under delay just over 50 minutes here. So they did a pretty quick work of getting this dry, as he said. And here we see everyone lined up. They really want some laps, which I'm surprised because this track is so grippy on those first few laps, and there's not a bunch of rubber on the track. You see the playoff standings over there on the left. This is the first playoff race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Justin Allgaier leads it over Christopher Bell. Hey, Mr. Official, you might want to get off there.
Yeah, these guys are, they're
cranked
up and ready to go. Yeah. Hear them revving the engines.
Run!
Into pit road.
Get off track. There he goes. Well, I think we have one more jet dryer over there as well, but it looks like he's trying to pull off.
Yeah, a little backup, getting all the jet dryers down into the garage area, newly revamped garage area and infield area here at Richmond Raceway.
And I haven't been able to walk through it, but from what we can see here from the booth, it looks really cool.
Outstanding, yes. It's much better for the competitors, no doubt, but it looks like a great facility for the fans to be able to come and enjoy, too.
And here you're going to get a great look at what the race will look like because we're going to line them all up and send them out on the racetrack, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like we just had pit stops.
Yeah. This is pretty interesting, being this heavy of traffic. You never experience this in Xfinity Series. You know, in Cup, we always go all out like this, especially if it's a happy hour situation. But in Xfinity, you always have clear track. So for many of these drivers, knowing that they just have to get a lap in, it's kind of tough to get a clear lap.
Yeah, probably the majority of them are probably on the same tires that they had for that first practice, just coming out and trying to get a little rubber laid down, and after some changes they probably made and wanted to make, realizing they don't have a lot of time.
Definitely.
I think it's probably more about feel of the car than it is about laying a lap down right now.
Yeah, we had 24 cars that all went out here right under the green. So this is a pretty packed racetrack. Watching Elliott Sadler right there in the back of Ryan Reed. Big weekend for Elliott. Virginia.
Yeah,
right, for him.
They honored him here the other day, and then last race in Virginia.
Yeah.
His home state. Yeah, he saw Emporia is a little less than 2 hours away from here. So this has always been a track that Elliott wanted to do well at and does perform well. You can see really fast through the center and exited the corner there, but not able to get by Ryan Reed at this point.
Said he was announcing his retirement just before Bristol. Said that this race was going to be very emotional for him being his home race. Ooh, we're on the helmet cam here with Ryan Truex. Let's just take a ride and listen here. All right, so you know what I noticed there? The first lap that we rode on all 4, he spun the rears. The second lap was far more controlled.
Yeah.
That's what's so tough about this place, trying to get those rears to hook up. I find it so frustrating, this racetrack. You said you like this racetrack. I didn't have the same feelings towards it every time I rode here. I think if they filled it full of water at one point, I probably had a better chance and race boats. But that's what this place is so tough, is that you're always trying to get the car to turn or brake all at the same time, or accelerate at the same time.
Yeah, and the two ends are so totally different. I mean, you have a wide sweeping entry into turn 1. So easy to overdrive the corner there, getting down in. But a tight radius that you have. And then basically getting down the back straightaway and into turn 3 is so flat for so long, you don't pick up any banking until you're at least a quarter way into turn 3. And then, as you said, the exit of both corners is so hard to hook up the rear tires, but that's where you make your speed at this place.
So I had a crew chief named Chris Carrier, who's sort of famous throughout the years, and he would tell me all the time when I first came to tracks like this, pretend there's an eggshell underneath the gas pedal. That's how soft we want you to accelerate off the corner, and it was great advice. Still didn't work for me here, though. I don't know what I was missing.
It's so tempting here. Yeah, I mean, to get the car rotated in, I mean, you need to be in the throttle. But both of the exit, both of these corners, you get that, and you're picking up speed, and all of a sudden you think that you're okay, and then it flattens out, especially off of turn 2. It flattens out so quickly. Next thing you know, the back end's jumping out from under you.
We're on board right now with Ryan Preece. Pretty cool bumper cam right here. Running behind Catherine Legg. She's making her first oval start. Probably eyes pretty wide open right now. Coming to this oval for the first time.
Can't imagine when you haven't done this type of racing before and the difficulty, and especially now that everybody's out here on the racetrack and everybody's wanting to get everything that they can. She's going to think that the race is pretty calm.
This is good experience for her to see.
Certainly.
Yeah. It almost helps. First time I ever came here, I followed Kevin Harvick. I went straight to the top 5 on the leaderboard. That helped a lot.
Good guy to follow. Yeah.
This might be a great guy to follow as well. Ross Chastain won Las Vegas last week in this 42 car. Got 3 races in it. Went to Darlington, won the pole, won the first 2 stages, ended up in that incident with Kevin Harvick, and then goes to Vegas and gets that illustrious first Xfinity win. Just such a cool story.
Yeah, it is.
A young guy getting this opportunity.
Yeah, and it's really what this series was made for young guys to get opportunities to showcase their talents. And, you know, when you get an opportunity, a lot of people get an opportunity, but what do you do with that opportunity? And Ross has maximized that. How cool would it be for him to win this race tonight here and move himself on into the next round of the playoffs? It'd
be an amazing story, but as you and I were discussing earlier today, we would just love to see Ganassi then maybe support him in each round.
Yeah.
At least give him 1 race in a round and see if he can pull it off. It would be incredible. Here's a 21 of Daniel Hemrick. First tap this year, I expected a win any race. I don't know if there's a bit of a lull there. He's entering the playoffs 7th, seeded 7th. But I think he's sort of we've seen some of the speed that we saw the first half of the year. Indy comes to mind as being a really good race for him. But I would have expected a win out of Daniel by now. Oh, and look who this is. That retired driver named Dylan.
Yeah.
Our coworker.
Yeah. He's a TV guy now.
Yeah.
What's he doing in a race car?
I think it's one of those things. He just sort of walked by and they were like, hey, jump in this.
No, he's a pretty good guy to be able to pluck out and say, hey, we need the seat filled in this car. So.
I know he's really excited about this. He went and tested that late model a couple weeks ago and to get ready. And I think we saw he was 5th in the first practice, so had a lot of speed in that Hellman Chevy. And got a helmet cam on board for us. It's going to be fun to watch him all night. I'm sure he's going to be our in-race reporter up here.
Yeah,
so we'll get some great info out of him.
Absolutely.
We can't let him just not be a broadcaster entirely.
No, he's got to keep his day job too now. So this is just, doing a little moonlighting here tonight. Help the sponsor out, which helps the company out, which he, by the way, owns. So all of those things work together. But this was also a racetrack that he really enjoyed racing at and did well at over the years. So I'm sure that was part of the deal in picking where he wanted to run this race.
No doubt. You might see the timer on the left says 0, and there it is, the red and black flag. So that is all they will get for final Xfinity Series practice. Just over, what they get about there? 7 minutes?
Yeah, didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah, barely. see all the cars come across the line. Here's what we have on tap today. Starting at 11:30 a.m., we got Monster Energy Cup Series practice, then final practice, Xfinity Series qualifying, and then you can join myself. Are you on NASCAR America too?
Nope.
No?
I'll be with Dave Burns doing qualifying.
So it's just Kyle Petty and I there. Then we go into qualifying, and then the race tonight, 7:30. And don't miss NASCAR Decades, hosted by Jeff Burton. It's going to be a great time. See you all there.